There we go. That's better. Let's try doing it horizontal. Um, I'll give it a few minutes as usual. Just had some time, wanted to chat, see if anybody wanted to jump on and talk. I have a talk tomorrow in church. It's the first time in a while. I don't know, maybe it's been like a year or something like that. But doing all these YouTube videos, it basically isn't very difficult to prepare talks. Like with this, with the topic that I'm doing, I was able just to quickly go to my spreadsheet and go to the topic and find the quotes that I needed. The Floor Lord, hello from Hill Air Force Base. Awesome. I've been there a few times, both while I was in the military. Just passing through though. I was like on vacation, and also before the Army for air show. Jewel, hello from San Diego. Let me see what this does. Do that. Okay, there we go. Becca underscore, how convenient. Was just looking for a great video to watch, then you popped up. I guess it was meant to be. Howdy from Rowdy. Hello, Jared. Pink waving hand. Erica Larson. Hello from Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri. Missouri. Been there a few times recently. And that's where I went for basic training in the Army, Fort Leonard Wood. Or as they sometimes call it, Fort Lost in the Woods. Key, same Becca, laugh out loud. Hello from Springville, Utah. Hey from Ogden, Utah. El Paculi, hey Jared. Idaho in the house. Hey guys, Shenandoah Valley, Virginia. Last name pronounced like mule, but with a B. Okay, I'll try to remember that. Jacob Buell. Brenda 6263. Hi from Virginia. Howdy from Rowdy. Hey from Fillmore, Utah here. Shira OC. Hi from Brookfield, Missouri. Got a lot of Missourians here. Bethany Gonzalez. Hey, happy Saturday. Been planting some of my veggies here in Clinton, Utah. Linda Wheeler. Hi, Jared from Salt Lake City. Heart, sunflower heart. Well, just wanted to check in with you guys. Well, it's okay. I'm sure that you've seen it. There hasn't been like enough to really warrant doing a video about this, but Israel did respond to the Iranian attack. And, all the experts are saying that essentially they responded in a way that gave Iran an easy out. And that does seem to be the case. So, I don't know. Like I said, this war is it's weird. It has like these like really intense moments, but then things calm back down. And I don't know if it's kind of like, doing like a Jack in the Box where, you're doing it, and like time goes by, and then eventually there's going to be like a big flare up, and then all of a sudden we're going to find ourselves in Armageddon, in the final war, in the siege of Jerusalem. I don't know how it's going to go, but it feels kind of like a Jack in the Box, and we've had like a few kind of like false alarms as far as like, oh, this now it's like really happening. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about this. Last live stream, excuse me, last live stream, a lot of people thought that there was going to be a big escalation when Israel responded, but there hasn't been. Unless like somehow this is like still playing out, unless Israel is like still going to do more and we just don't know. It's just weird. Okay, Tom Trump watching from Hurricane, Utah, Red Cliffs Temple tonight. Nice. Like you're going to, because it's dedicated now, right? Yeah, it's dedicated. So you went to go like do a session or something. Cindy Puckett watching from Minnesota. Cindy Norgren, wait, new car? Yep, this is the new car. So we had a Hyundai Elantra, and I'm sure a lot of you saw the stream where, we broke down, and so I did a live stream, and how for me it felt like that was kind of like a test compared to last year. Like Last year I had a lot of kind of just like freak out moments and frustration and anger and upset because like it just things weren't going well. And this year has been a lot better, but there has been some upset, including the car breaking down. But I did better this year. Like everything went just fine. I kept my cool, prayed, had faith, and we ended up getting this car for just $2,000. Well, like $2,100. Just like uh, was it over the weekend? I can't remember how it went. Well, we waited like a couple days, and then we have this.
Friday.
Huh?
We got it on Friday.
Got it on Friday. Oh yeah. So we went a few days. And once we had like just a little bit of money saved up, like we already had some money in savings, but we also had to save up a little bit of money. And we went to this mechanic in town that we feel is really trustworthy. And he's the one that we bought our Dodge Caravan from. And we got this Saturn Outlook for $2,100, which is fine because as long as it lasts for like a year, that's all that I'm asking is that it lasts for a year. And if it goes longer, then even better. But if it lasts for a year, then that would equate to like what was it, 175?
166. Right?
No, for 2,100 we like redid it for, you just did it in,
Oh, 175.
yeah. So it'd be like a 175 a month payment if it lasts for a year, and if it goes longer, then it'll be an even smaller payment. So I just, like I've said before, I'm not doing any more new cars. We're not going to lease cars. We did that one time, but we're not going to like finance any cars. We're just going to buy them outright. It's cheaper. Even if we make like even more money, I think we're still going to do this just because it's such a waste of money. It's just a car. And this is comfy enough. It has leather seats and everything in here works well. The AC works. Bethany Gonzalez, nice. That looks like it's pretty comfy. Yeah, it is. It's nice and comfy and just need it to last for a year. Stand as a witness. Oh, here's Beth Jukes. So make sure to subscribe to her channel, Stand as a Witness. Is this your new whip? Yes. If that's a term for like a new car, yes. Becca _ just watched a video about Messiah ben Joseph, and the gentleman mentioned the Jews believe that Battle of Gog and Magog was a spiritual war. Perhaps we've been at war since Joseph Smith. Yeah, it's been a while since we've talked about Messiah ben Joseph, but that is a really interesting belief that they have, and I'd like to talk to members of the church that converted from Judaism, because I'd like to see like what their experience has been and if that was like really eye-opening for them, once they realized like, oh, Joseph Smith, he wasn't okay, like he wasn't Messiah in the sense of like Christ, not savior of the world, but it's been said that he's done more for the salvation of mankind except for Christ alone. So in that sense, he's helped to save a lot of people. And Messiah means anointed, so he is, an anointed one. He's a prophet, but it's just really interesting. I want to like talk to someone who's Jewish that's a member of the church that converted from Judaism. I've reached out a bunch to different Messianic Jews because I want to talk to them too. In fact, I sent out an email today. There's this channel called So Be It, and maybe you've seen it before, but it's the main guy is a Cohen, so he's a priest. The patrilineal line, he's descended from Aaron, and he converted to Christianity. He's a Messianic Jew, and he does like a bunch of like street conversations, talking to mostly Orthodox Jews and talking about Christianity and contrasting beliefs and interpretation of scripture. It's really interesting, but I haven't successfully been able to get a hold of a Messianic Jew. So I'm still working on that, but I think that would be a really interesting conversation. I think the Messianic Jewish movement is important. I've talked about it before. We know that when it comes to the time of the Gentiles being fulfilled, that before, like, basically what's going to happen is, like, the time of the Gentiles is running out, and the gospel is going to go in force to the Jews, starting with Christ himself coming to the Jews at the second coming. But before that time, the Jews are going to begin to believe. And some of them have already joined our church. Others are joining this Messianic Jewish movement, which I think that fits the bill too. It's interesting to note, it's been a while since I've talked about it, but the Messianic Jewish movement traces its roots back to the Hebrew Christian movement. And that started, if I remember right, it was 11 years before the first vision. And then 7 years before the first vision is when you have the first identifiable congregation exclusively made up of Jews that converted from Judaism. So it's like this movement that's kind of like it's been running alongside our church, like the same time frame. And I think it's significant, but I can't get a hold of any of these people. Like, it's like no problem getting a hold of the Orthodox, but which is kind of weird. I've talked to Rabbi Pepperstone here in Wichita. He's from the conservative movement, but I don't know. I can't get a hold of any of these Messianic Jews. Preston Brown, greetings from Arizona. Just got out of a meeting with Elder Christofferson. Oh, cool. Did he say anything interesting? April Flowers, I have 2 friends that converted from LDS to Jewish. Oh, well, that's going in the wrong direction. Christine Spencer, watching from Canada. Tracy Engelke, hi Jared, watching from the UK. Becca _April, get us connected. Love to see an interview with them. Well, I'm not so much interested in people converting to Judaism from our church. Kim Osborne, Jared, thank you for the eclipse live stream. I felt like I was right there. I was touched by your emotions and could feel the spirit and excitement along with you. Smiley face. Thanks again. No problem. I think the Lord wanted me to do that. Hopefully it had some kind of impact on you. I think it was a significant event. I think that we should remember it, and from now on, I think I'm going to do live streams like this. I'll do it horizontal. So if you're watching on a TV, then it won't be annoying having it up and down. I can do the chat just fine this way. So I'm planning this summer to, we were just talking about this as we were going on this drive. Jenica and we're going to be going to Nauvoo. That's probably going to be like, late July, and I'll do a live stream from there too, because not everybody can go all the way to Nauvoo or some of these places. And, there's other YouTube channels, obviously, but I'll do it here on my channel, do live streams and go to Nauvoo, check out the sites, probably go to the temple. And then we're also thinking of going to St. George, along with Vegas, because they're close by each other, relatively speaking. Go check out the St. George Temple, and I think they have a visitor center, right? I've never actually been on the St. George temple grounds, the St. George temple grounds. But I'd like to go there. I think it'd just be fun, obviously for me, but hopefully for you guys too, to just kind of like visit some of these places in this way. But yeah, when it comes to conversion, I'm sure a lot of you guys already know, we've talked about it on the channel, but in Judaism, it's not necessary for you to convert. So those people that converted from our church to their church or to their religion, the way that Jews view it are that you have the Jewish nation, and they're supposed to perform the commandments, and they're supposed to operate the temple for the benefit of the world. And then in some kind of way that's not really clear to me right now, Judaism is supposed to, the light of Torah is supposed to give light to the nations, even though they don't do missionary work. So if you're not a Jew, if you're a Gentile, you're only expected to obey the 7 Noahide laws. They believe that At the time of Noah, there were 7 laws given. That's all that's expected of everybody that's not a Jew. If you are a Jew, then there's much, 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 much more expected of you. Um, they believe in the concept of reincarnation, and so the way they look at it is like, oh, maybe this person was Jewish before, or maybe whatever. Like, if they have this much of a desire to become Jewish, then we'll let them do it, but they have to reject them like 3 times. Like, be like, look, if you become Jewish, you're going to be expected to do da 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 da. You're going to be expected to do a lot. And they push them away 3 times, and then finally, if they do become Jewish and they convert, they do a baptism. They don't call it a baptism, but you do like a full body immersion in a mikveh or a baptismal font. It's the same thing. So that's how it goes with Judaism, in case you didn't know. Deborah Hecht, I'm from Texas. I did an endowment session at the Lubbock, Texas temple for a relative today. A great day, smiley face. That's great. I'm glad. The only temples I ever visited, sadly, when I was in the army, it was kind of difficult to like actually go to the temple and do a session. We would have had to get babysitters, and all the temples were like 2.5 hours away. We probably could have done it, but we didn't. But we visited the San Antonio temple, the temple grounds, and then the Dallas temple. Okay. Cindy Norgren, my son is looking at converting to Catholicism and said they don't require a Baltic. You've been baptized in a different religion. A Baltic? That's probably a typo. GW Vest, hey Jared, Gary from Santan Valley, Arizona. President Brown, he also, oh, okay, I missed his other comments. Let me go up here. President Brown, lots of great things from Elder Christofferson. He did specifically mention that you may have noticed that the temple and covenants were mentioned a bit in conference. Yeah. And then later Preston says, he also powerfully testified at the end of the living Christ and mentioned it about 3 times. And then said he didn't know when the Savior will come again, but all I know is that he is coming. Heart. Sydney Norgren, baptism. Sorry. Okay, so she said, my son is looking to converting to Catholicism and said they don't require a baptism. You've been baptized in a different religion. Yeah, I think there was like a time in the Catholic Church. I don't know if it was with like Vatican II, but I think there was like, sorry, I think there was a point in time where they're like, okay, no, it's fine. Is you can be baptized in another Christian church, and we'll consider it valid. I think they also have the belief that like they are the mother church, and all other Christian denominations are like the daughters, and in that one day they'll all come together again. I want to say that I've heard that before. Jesse Daniels, hi from Wisconsin. I went to the house of the Lord today as well, but mine was for baptism. Which one did you go to? Because is there one in Wisconsin? If there is, I want to say it's like Madison, but I could be wrong. El Pakuli, Jared tried to contact Daniel Rona. He was born in Israel and raised in the United States. He is an American and Israeli, LDS, and Jew. Very knowledgeable. Ask Jenica, pull up his bio. Well, we're not going to do too long of a stream, but I'll look into him. Jesse Daniels, no. He went to the St. Paul, Minnesota temple. Yeah. Yeah, Wisconsin. Aren't they one of the few that don't have a temple yet? Like one of the few states that don't have a temple yet? This last conference, Iowa got its first temple. And before Iowa, I think Kansas was like the next one before it that didn't have a temple and had a temple announced for Wichita. So at this point, I don't think that there's many states in the United States that don't have a temple. I don't think that there's one for Delaware, Rhode Island, Wisconsin. and that might be it. I don't know. Um, Bon says, I can't wait until everyone wants to talk about Jesus in depth. I can't wait until our eternal origin and destiny is everyone's favorite binge show. Yeah. Jesse says, correct. We don't have any temples here yet. Well, the way things are going, maybe soon. I wouldn't be surprised if like in the next like general conference or two, if they announce one, because it's like they're really trying to get one. I know that there's like, or I've heard that there's like the goal of trying to get a temple within 2 hours of all members of the church. So, in just the way that things have been going, I wouldn't be surprised if Wisconsin is on deck. Janet Robinson, wahoo! I caught a live. Hi everyone. Preston Brown, woohoo! Yay for Des Moines. I'm from Des Moines. Yeah, that's cool. I was talking to Jessica from Higher Holier History. She's the first one that I've interviewed um, to promote these like new channels that are run by women in the church. Her husband is from like the Nauvoo area, but like on the Iowa side, and they were talking about how the situation that Iowa has been in is that either they would go to Nauvoo, or I think down to Kansas City, or over to Winter Quarters, and maybe there was another one. So now having one in like the central part of Iowa is like really good. I'd be really happy if I was in Iowa with that announcement. Ilbon says, I can't wait until visiting the temple is the new Super Bowl. I'm so weary of secular society and its weight. Amy Laria says Mississippi doesn't have one. Okay. Yeah, as far as the Super Bowl goes, I don't know if this counts, but I'm going to be doing like live streams whenever we go to some of these church sites. Like we're going to be going to Nauvoo, and hopefully we'll go to St. George and the Las Vegas Temple this year. Sorry. And also, I don't know if you saw the video that I did about the Super Bowl, but we looked into Las Vegas, and you know that Las Vegas was essentially started by members of the church. It was a halfway point between St. George and, what was it? San Bernardino. So it was members of the church that essentially first like populated that area, and they had a fort, and the remains of the fort are still there, and they're just right off the strip, like not on the strip, but on Las Vegas Boulevard, which is the strip. If you go north of the strip, like north of the Stratosphere, that's what it's called, right? What's that? It's called the Stratosphere?
Yeah.
It is? Whatever. If you go north of there, so I'm gonna like go there and like do live streams. So if that excites you, then you have that to look forward to. Anne Marie Lewis, Jared, do you have allergies? You've had that cough for a while. Sunflower. I don't know. That's what they think. You know, it's probably been almost 4 weeks now. I've been taking the cough syrup, and that I was prescribed, and it doesn't really do anything. So I'll go back to my doctor and see what the next step is. It is pretty annoying. I don't know if it has anything to do with like my sleep apnea, you know, because I have the CPAP, and I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's something else, but eventually we'll get it figured out, and hopefully soon. ASMR Sherry's Variety Show. Greetings from Northern Virginia. Jacob Samuelson. Was it Wisconsin or Michigan where the Biggertonites are the biggest? I don't know. I don't know who those are, or what that group is. Is that like a splinter group from the church? Janet Robinson, I've been working in the Red Cliffs, Utah temple, and it is wonderful. I'll bet. I think everybody loves new buildings, new house, new office building, new temple. It's just nice when you have something brand new. And the Red Cliffs Temple is large. When I was putting together my spreadsheet for the temples, temple, I would love to go see it. Maybe when we go to St. George, maybe I'll go check out the temple grounds for the Red Cliffs Utah Temple and then the St. George Temple. I'm like more excited to see the St. George Temple now because like I said, I've never been to it. But now after having gone to Kirtland and then going to these Missouri sites, and I'll be going to Nauvoo this year. It'll be fun to go to St. George. Like it's like first thing, that first part of the church history, and then like the next part, the Utah chapter, which as far as temples go, started in St. George. It's the oldest operating temple in the church, like continuously operating temple. Ilban, it counts to me. Thank you. Maybe I'll do it at like the Oklahoma City temple too. Does that sound fun? Like just having live streams at temples and just kind of like visiting different temples on the channel. Becca underscore got to see the Las Vegas fort on my mission there. Love Las Vegas. Me too. Elaban, get a priesthood blessing for that cough. But coming from a person with CPAP that got dirty, check the filters. Well, I'm really good with cleaning. Believe me, I'm on top of the filters. I'm on top of wiping it. I have like the CPAP wipes that are specifically for CPAP machines. So I don't know. Teresa Lane, greetings from Southeast Virginia. Daniel Werner, change name to Jared's Traveling Mobile Homestead. Yeah. Grimace, do you take BP meds? Is that if it's blood pressure? You guys, I do not have high blood pressure. It's okay. It's okay if you don't know. It's fine. Some cause coughing. Lisinopril, Nestril. I don't take it for that reason. I think that blood pressure medication's a no. I believe it or not, with as fat as I am, I do not have high blood pressure. I actually have good blood. Like everything's good. I go and do. You know what? That's probably the appointment that I missed. It was probably the annual checkup. I have VA healthcare, so I have to do an annual checkup, and part of that is they draw blood and they check all this stuff. And I'm good. I am overweight. I need to bring my weight down, but I've gone from 282. I've made significant progress, but I've never, believe it or not, I've never had high blood pressure. I'm not pre-diabetic, so I'm not on anything like that. Thank you, though. Janet Robinson, come out and be my guest anytime. The temple is 78,000 square feet with 4 ordinance rooms and 6 to 8 ceiling rooms. I'll let you know. I'd like to, meet as many people as possible. I'll let you know when the time gets closer. Elaban, awesome listening to you as always, Jared. Love studying with you. Gotta go. Take care. God bless you and your family, bro. You too. Thanks for stopping by. Jixva 102696. Look into a nebulizer with albuterol. Okay, what is that? Is that for like, what is that? Sarah Cook, do you have reflex? GERD? Nope, I don't. Cindy Norgren, I've always wanted to go drive and do a temple tour to all the temples just in Utah to start. Yeah, I've been to quite a few. I always love it. I love differences in each temple. I love the temple, just like the temple grounds by themselves. But it's nice going to these different places. And if you saw one of my recent videos, you never know. Like your closest temple, for all we know, the Red Cliffs, Utah temple, that land may have been dedicated by Moroni back when he was still alive. We don't know all the places that he dedicated, but the locations, they're sacred. They may have more history than what we're aware, and I think that that's a good hobby. That's like a good activity, visiting temples, even if it's just the temple grounds. But if you can go do the ordnance work, that's a good way to spend your time. And hopefully I can bring more of that to you, show you some other temples, these places that I'm able to go. Cindy Norgren, a buterol is what they use in inhalers. Yeah, I'll just my primary care. We're just going to go through the steps. And gaming says, when are you going to Nauvoo? I live in Kansas soon, Missouri. We can meet up if you want. It's probably going to be in either late July or early August. I'll put a thing on the channel for people that want to meet up. I'll have to keep it down to a certain number. I can't just like have everybody show up and then like have some kind of like accident and then become a news story. John Oregon from Oregon. Steve Odell, when I joined the church, there were 16 temples worldwide. Well, we have come a long way. I've already forgot. Did I forget? I don't know. I think it's going to be this next conference that we're probably going to get to 350,000, or oh my gosh, 350,000. Whoa. 350 between all that are announced, under construction, in operation. And if we get to that point, to 350, that's half of 700. So that's kind of interesting. And I think we also said in that video that I recently did that this next conference, if President Nelson is still alive and he announces a similar amount of temples, at that point he will probably have doubled. Like during his presidency, he'll have doubled the number of temples as president of the church, which is pretty astounding. Yeah, New Warner, you may have an asthma cough caused by allergies. Tube puff of an inhaler can solve it. I don't know. My doctors didn't think that it was that. I was like, is it seasonal? Like is it seasonal asthma or whatever? And they said no. No chasing Jared and ripping his jacket off. Gaming, we are already we are already at 350. I did the math. Huh. I can't remember what I was reading, but it seemed like we weren't. Okay, whatever. That's cool. El Paculi, Jared, not hounding you, but remember to check into Daniel Rona. He was born in 1941 in Israel. His German Jewish parents separately fled the Holocaust. Apostle Ezra Taft Benson asked Daniel to report on his mission and, more importantly, his Israel experiences at LDS headquarters in Salt Lake City. All right, we'll look into that. Okay, I should probably go now. I have some more things I need to do today, but just wanted to chat. It's always fun to talk to you guys. And I'll have a video ready for you on Monday morning. Talk to you later. Bye. Maybe. How do I exit? All right, here we go.